David is housekeeping. Awesome Jeff.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I'm Alex Dingman.
I am Jeff Doss. What's up, guys? We got a big show for you. And as you can see, we have some special guests with us. We have the guy representing WMAC, Kid Carmichael, and also the man himself, James Sung Lee. How you doing, guys?
Doing well. Thank you for having us again.
Good to see you guys.
Awesome.
Glad you're here with us. This is a great one.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. This is going to be great. A great episode. How has everyone been? Let's get everybody updated on what's new and what's going on, kid.
I'll just start with thank you to the community of martial artists and fans and friends and family that supported the Kickstarter. We're closing it in about 24 hours, and we've achieved our initial goal. So we will continue to partner moving forward with with another WMAC master here that was a ninja with us on the show, Master James Sang Lee. He will be our bodyguard. So we wanted to introduce, his partnership here within the show. And during this next 60 days, or I should really say 50 days until we head to Maya and US Open, we have soft-launched our WMAC Health. Whereby you'll see, a lot of products and SKUs coming out in support of the community for our health and wellness line. So not only media and entertainment, but as we noted before in the last episodes, we're going to be opening up other business sectors on behalf of WMAC. So let me just give this over to James, and he can share, Canon Entertainment Group, why we're here, what we're doing with regards to bringing everything back in Orlando, where this started 30 years ago.
Well, thanks, Carmichael, and guys, great to see you. Of course, WMAC 30th anniversary. I mean, just let me bring you back for just a second. The legendary Pat Johnson, original Karate Kids, original Ninja Turtles, brings in Red Dragon, Chris Casamassa, Hakeem Olston, of course, the kid himself. And here I am, a young and upcoming stuntman, as one of the ninjas at WMAC. Mr. J's like, hey, we want you, Ryan Watson. You guys know Ryan Watson from Mandalorian, Tyrone Wiggins, Tracy Fleming, and more. So really excited to bring it back to Orlando, obviously at the US Open. My team with Canon, we're looking really forward to partnering with WMAC. It's going to be some cool stuff coming up.
That's awesome, man. That's a cool, just the way you're bringing it back. So, all right, for you doing this years ago, what was that like? Because again, Carmichael has shared his story because, he's going to be a character on there. And for you being like, all right, again, like you said, this is like how you got started in the stunt world. Like, what was that feeling?
Oh, yeah. Well, for me, a lot of people know that Hulk Hogan actually saw me doing nunchucks, right? So all you martial art weapons guys out there, hey, it works. So do your moves. So Hulk Hogan sees me do nunchucks. He's like, you got to be in 3 of my movies. I'm like, what? 3 movies? And then WMAC hits with Mr. J, and then on to films like Blade, Lethal Weapon with Jet Li, and then even coming up June 12th, Plane will come out with Netflix. So I'm the Green Beret sniper with Gerard Butler in the movie Plane. So, you got all the way back from how I started, all the way to keep it going, and then we're going out to WMAC. So a lot coming up.
That's huge.
Okay, wait a minute now. So right from where you started. So when the Hulk, all right, when he saw you, right? Hey, let me tell you, brother. Right. So when he saw, were you just kind of like practicing, just training by yourself or something? And then he's like, what the heck is that? How did this happen?
Yeah.
So that's a great question, Alex. So I was at this concert hall that, as working at this concert hall in the security and the bodyguard business, you were required to get this. you had to do some type of act of some sort. Like
Mhm.
some people could sing, some people could dance. And the DJ says to me, well, James, what can you do? I said, I can't sing, I can't dance, but I'm really good with weapons. And he was like, what do you mean? I go, I'll bring some. He's like, what do you mean? Like more than one? I go, I got a bunch I can do. So I bust out all these weapons. He's like, oh, I got it. I'm going to bring out techno music. You're going to do it live on this stage. And the night that I did it, Hulk Hogan walked in this concert hall with the Baywatch producers, Michael Burke and Doug Schwartz.
Wow.
And so they're like, kid, you got to be in the movies with us. And then Hulk Hogan walks up to the stage. But remember now, Hulk's huge. I'm this little 5'9" Chinese kid. And he's like, you got to be in my movie, James. So it was awesome.
That's so cool. So again, that gives hope to everyone. Like you said, like, listen, like this is a great way to show people, what you can do. Right. And again, that's going to be part of what's going on at the US Open and Maya
That's right.
Conference. So let's share what that's going to look like for people that are going to be there for either one of those events.
Yeah, I'll start with the U.S. Open side of it, working to do the Quest for the Next. Obviously, it's going to be an audition and casting call that we've shared before. So we'd like to see your talent Thursday, as well as on Friday and Saturday. Currently, we also have, partnership with MayaCon, so I'll let James share a little bit of that. But the objective leaving is to make sure that we capture footage of sport karate, footage of WMAC legends and WMAC masters, and the just the industry in general when it comes to, like I said, the three business sectors of safety and security, media and entertainment, and then health and wellness. So for us, it is making sure that as martial arts is a lifestyle for us, we're using everything from us presenting to us using technology, but also bringing in our film crews to be able to capture these moments along with you guys, supporting us with regards to interviews. So make sure you come visit us at the booths as well as at the casting and the auditions. But I'll let James share on the Maya side how we're going to expand that on the business industry sector.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, obviously have one of the grandest stages in all the sport, the US Open, the ISK World Championship. You got ESPN, so you got the great competition. So we'll be on that side, but we'll also be on the other side of Coronado with MayaCon. And so all the schools coming out, looking for recruitment, retention, new programs. What's really cool is Carmichael, myself, and Scott Manthe doing the seminar over there. You're going to have how to use your phone for fight choreography and photography. But then this is where WMAC Health and Wellness comes out, because like schools don't have products. They don't have vitamins. They don't have all these different products that could be part of their schools so that they can do better in their health as well as for profitability for their business. So that's coming out as well.
Awesome. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited about seeing it. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be hanging out the booth as well. So I'm going to make sure you guys see me and I help out whatever way we can. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be great. And I've been telling everyone about what's going on, and again, we got to remember some of the current, group have no clue, right? So we got to re-educate them on what this is about, what WMAC was, why it's such a big deal for our sport and for our community. So,
well, and we've kind of touched on that for a while. And we said, like, listen, if you've been around the sport for 20 years and you've been in it, that's a significant amount of time. You still would have missed it completely. All right. And if you've been around for 20 years, you're a vet. You know what I mean? So vets, people who would just be known, like legends even, would have completely gotten missed. But it doesn't change guys like Jeff and I talking about it and remembering it, bringing it up, because that's what we do. We talk about it all the time. James, I didn't get a chance to tell you, my kids are addicts. They love the WMAC. They love it.
Sweet.
yes.
For real. So started bringing it up. They go back and forth on which is their favorite character. All the time. They go over it because we've watched every episode probably 3 times through. All right.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not even kidding you. Like binging it. All right. asking for it. So they're loving it. Sometimes they're like, "Dad, this guy sucks." I'm like, "Oh, okay." But they go back and forth as to which one's the best. They're like, "Dad, Tsunami is
Oh yeah.
It's so cool, Dad. It's Tsunami. No, Dad, really, it's Warlock. No, Warlock's bad guy now." Right? And they just the whole storyline. They're just hooked on it. And so, where did that thing go? Oh, because it's right over here. And I was just telling you, and I opened up this little thing you guys gave me in the mail. So cool. And when they saw the WMAC sticker,
Woo.
they were like behind me. They're like behind my shoulder, and they see it, and their eyes they dilate. And they're like, what is that, Dad? Are you in the WMAC Masters now? I'm not gonna say no. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I don't know who else could get something like who else.
That's
Who do you
awesome.
think would get this? Why do you think they would give this to me? Dad, you're totally. I'm like, yes.
That's awesome.
That's so cool. All right, Alex, did you have any of the toys back in the day?
I didn't.
All
I
right,
think by the time I figured out that there was a thing, I was searching for them and then like I couldn't find them.
So I had them, of course, because like I knew a lot of these guys too. So I'm like, all right.
Oh yeah.
But the coolest thing was like the kicking version of like Rock'em Sock'em, right? I don't know if you guys remember. They had the ones where it would spin and kick and knock each other off of the platform that you were. So you would kick them, and it had the button, and it would, if you hit it in the right spot, it would fly off, right?
I did not know this was a
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, and I had them even in my karate school, and I would have people like when I first started, and that would be what the kids would play with for
Oh yeah.
summer camp when we had like some downtime, right? And I had like people hitting like Hillsong and Larry Lamb in the chest and knocking them off, right?
Oh, that's awesome.
So that was cool. So Carmine, you got to bring those back. Those were sick. So
Yes.
yes, Johnny Lee, Chris, Herb, all of them. Yes.
So that was funny since DDB
James and I
brought
worked.
this up. It was funny. So like I didn't really tell them anything, like my kids when we're watching the shows. I wanted to see what they liked about them, and we ended up like searching, because then when I told them, I was like, "Hey, this guy's on Dad's show every now and then." Carmine was talking about you, and they're like,
Oh,
"No way, you know this guy, Dad?" And I'm like, "Yeah, right." My gosh. So then they would watch certain guys, and they're like, this is so funny. Zachary, my son, he goes, "Dad, how come Olympus, Herb Perez, how come he doesn't punch at all?" I'm like, well, he's pretty awesome at one thing, not so much the other. And he's like, "What are you talking about?" And so then I had to show him, and he's like, "All right, that's pretty cool." Right. But that's kind of what he got to see. They got to see a lot of this. But James, that's what I was saying for Jeff and I. When we got to see it, we got to see this on Saturday morning, and we'd sit 7 inches from the TV screen watching it like this. And then 2 weeks later, being in a ballroom, in a hotel ballroom, being like, he's right there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Right.
That's what was so awesome for us.
It was, and honestly, for me, I remember being really deflated when it stopped because of like John was supposed to be the next one in there, John Belair, and I knew guys that were getting recruited to go to there, and then when it stopped, it was like, okay, right into Mortal Kombat, or it was the tour, right, Carmichael, the tour, the live show, which was the next big thing to kind of keep that going for a little bit, right? But I mean, I just don't think people. Parents or anyone understand yet like the impact that this is going to have and the opportunities, and so I think it's going to be amazing for them all. And so everybody go check them out at US Open, Maya. Again, like you said, Carmichael, follow the Instagram, the new Instagram that's out, and there's just going to be more and more news coming.
Yep. And we'll be there on Thursday and Friday. So if there's anybody doing self-defense, we'll be there to coach. right? Because there's competitors that will be competing in that division. Obviously, James has 4 ISKA self-defense,
Yes.
belts.
That's
So, I had the opportunity, what is it, 14, 15 years later to grace the stage with him. And can you quickly share the fight scene challenge and the opportunity there?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like we're talking about the past, and I love it that we're talking about history and legacy, because those are, like you said, like that was WMC. I mean, it opened the doors to Mortal Kombat, the live tour. Chris Casamassa and I were on Blade, the first one, the original, people say the original Marvel 1 in that timeline, right? And then Michael Bernardo, who, was Turbo, we were on Shoot Fighter together, right? So it kind of moved a lot of the needle in the martial art movie world. But I'm excited about that. But I love what's coming up with WMA Masters with the return, because we're really excited about new talents, right? Carmichael's got some great things with, like, how are we going to use the phone to film fight scenes, right? We're going to coach people on how to partner. Like, how do you do it with a partner? How do you do it with the whole group? How do you do it with your dojo? And so I think it's going to be exciting with some of the new talent that's on the circuit, and that this is their shot. This is their chance. And so we're excited to be a part of that. Yeah.
It's huge. There's so many levels, like when we've talked about it, so many levels that this can go. Again, there's 30 years gap. We got to piece those years, right? So I'm excited for that. Excited to be a part of that, and excited to really, again, like Corn says, like that era needs some exposure too, right? But also, like, what's next for the new crew. So just, guys, this is going to be, I think, endless, especially if and I know in the group that's involved, how hard everyone's going to work. It's going to be great. So
one of the things I'm hopeful for, and if we try to put ourselves in the time frame of then, I'm hopeful for a similar thing, in the sense that I hope that it does change culture a little bit. Right. Because what you guys started to talk about, like, it opened the door for this and it opened the door for that. There was a lot martial arts in that time of the early and mid 90s was the coolest thing in the world. It just martial arts. Like, if you were a black belt, you just immediately, your level of cool just went up. Right. It was just the coolest thing there was. Right. So there was eventually a Street Fighter movie. There was Mortal Kombat. There was Power Rangers. There was Ninja Turtles, and Ninja Turtles 75, because there's still so many of them, right? But there was everything, right? So there wasn't, this is the one thing, and let's not forget, oh, by the way, Karate Kid, there was that, there was just, it was everywhere, right? Jean-Claude Van Damme movies. I'm hoping that something like this helps change martial arts culture like that as well. Nice. I mean, really, it struck lightning in a bottle. It was perfect. Right. So why can't we do it again? That would be awesome. Right. In the sense of the culture, not specifically the show the same way, right? But just martial arts culture. James, how many films have you been in?
Yeah.
I think 100 projects total, but about 25 films. And then I'm on a Test Drive Live TV show now.
Nice.
So I got all kinds of crazy haircuts. I know Scott Manthe was trying to make my new figurine with my hair like Tintin, so we're trying to figure that out.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, thank you, and excited to have James involved in this. Kid, thank you again for coming on the show. And we're excited to be, like, the group that gets this word out to the sport karate world and the martial arts world. Because again, it's we've gotten some exciting. I tell you, it's crazy again that we're almost 6 years now, maybe longer now. I don't even know. I've lost track. But just consistently doing our show and just the feedback that we get from it. Alex missed this one, but we got to do a few months ago. We got to do an interview with the guys that directed Love Hurts on our show, and that was just huge, right? And it was really cool, and it was so funny how it went all the way back, because the guy, the main guy that ran it all, director, talked about how John Valera is the one that got him, that worked with it, and I was like, hey, it's kind of funny, right? That's my coach, and so it's just funny how it all
awesome.
Comes from. So, and and one more thing, since everyone, my Valera's parents messaged my parents this week about they're actually in town like sometime, so we may get
No
together.
way.
Yeah, so it's kind of crazy. I know Carmichael always wants to know about
yeah.
that stuff because
That's awesome.
all tight. But yeah, man. So thank you guys so much, and we'll see everyone at the U.S. Open.
Yep.
All right, take care. Thank you,
Thanks, guys.
See you, fellas. Wow.
Good stuff,
How,
right?
how cool is that,
I
right?
know. I know. Crazy, right? Crazy.
Stoked.
All right. So while we're on this WMAC and film and everything, I want us to talk about one of our own that is involved in their first, movie or series. And, we got Amanda Duarte that's going to be featured in City of Honor. And so I think the other day they had the trailer out. So Leandro may be in here. He may put the post in there. I mean, the link in there. I may even try to do it as well on my phone. But so I believe they did a red carpet recently for it, and so it's going to be really exciting. I know they are excited about it, and everyone involved in it is martial artists. So it's going to be an exciting thing. It's going to be it's called City of Honor. All right. Metro West End Task Force. So they have the idea it's going to be kind of like a police show. And she is, I believe, the daughter of the main character.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask. So she's a pretty significant role or character in this.
Yes.
That's
Exactly.
pretty cool.
Exactly.
How did she
So-
get into this?
So the guy that is, I think, the creator of it and the main star, he runs a tournament. I think he has a tournament last weekend or 2 weekends ago in Atlantic City area, and he has a lot of events. And they've known each other. Yeah, June 20th is when that's going to be debuting. So, and you know what? She's won his tournament a lot. Been around that area, and he said, you know what? I want her involved. So it's pretty cool. So again, guys, you just never know, right? Just treat people right and keep showing up, and that's how it's going to work, right? So make sure you guys check that out. I just put the trailer on there, and start sharing that and tagging Amanda in it. And we are excited to see her continue to grow. Man, so lots of good news with that, right? So again, we go from one to the next with all the new, the shows, the TV shows, the things people are involved. Obviously we saw. I haven't gone to see the new Karate Kid yet. I need to do that.
I just last night.
I've had just crazy busy weeks. Every weekend is something. It's my son Sean graduated high school this weekend, so it's been a busy weekend. And then I told you 2 weeks ago was daughter's graduation from college, and this weekend I had black belt testing Friday and Saturday. Next weekend's Battle of Atlanta. The weekend after that, oh hey, I'm running a karate tournament. The weekend after that, oh, we have regular belt testing. Yeah, so and I'm training and all that good stuff. So it's been wild, right? But I mean, I wouldn't trade it, for anything. It's what I do, what I love doing.
So here's something funny. I have been dying to share this with you because when we have experiences that are like outside of the martial arts world, we always filter them through martial arts anyway.
Yes.
This is a funny one, right? So every weekend we have events, right? We have a lot of guys that are on third shift DJs now. And I don't talk about it a lot on the show because that's not what this show's about. This one's funny, right? So there's this family. I am like almost like an honorable mention into the family now.
Okay.
Because I did the sister's wedding 2 years ago. I did her best friend and maid of honor's wedding last May, like same time.
Okay.
I did her brother's wedding on Saturday. And now the youngest brother, he's like, I don't care what it takes. You got to come to DC and you got to do our wedding because we just got engaged. And I'm like, done. So like, they're like, you're a part of the family now. And they're Italian. So it makes sense. All right.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, cool. So, but it was in Syracuse, Indiana. So it's like 3.5 to 4 hours from me. Not exactly what I want to do. But for this family, okay, I'll do that. Right. For you guys, sure. So they're staying at this resort and it's like a minimum of $675 a night. So I'm like, I'm not going to do that. Right.
Yeah,
So I'm like, I'll find a Best Western or something or a Quality Inn somewhere 10 minutes away. And that's just what I'm going to do. Right. I'm by myself. What does it matter? So I go and so I call right before like our sets, right before cocktail hour is going to kick off. And I make the reserve. I can't remember. It's like a Hampton Inn. Right. Same
Okay.
thing. Doesn't matter. And book the cheapest, whatever. There it is. So they call me like 3 times. They leave me voicemails. I can't answer it. I'm mixing. And basically this is what they were saying. They were like, listen, we're really, really sorry. Our elevator just went out and we understand if you want to cancel, we'll cancel it. We'll refund your money. There are people that are wanting to do that. We understand that. It's not a big deal if you want to cancel it. Call us right away. That way, if you want to, you can
Wow.
cancel and book somewhere else. And in my mind, I'm like, I've been to the Battle of Atlanta when that elevator has been slammed.
Yeah.
I've been to the Galt House in Louisville when both towers are slammed and you're on the 23rd floor and you're like, the stairs are the only option.
Yep.
I'm like, I'm on the 3rd floor.
Yeah.
I'm good.
I'm okay. Yeah.
I'm okay. Right.
Dude, Diamonds used to be the worst at down at
Was it St. Paul?
yeah, in St. Paul. Yeah, back in the day. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would
didn't-
always fill up, man. Oof.
I don't think I stayed in that hotel very many times. I only think I stayed there like twice.
Yeah,
But
that
makes
was
sense. Why would I have stayed there? You
right,
know what I
right. You lived there. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
What is the but now, hey, since I mentioned that, what is the worst like
Ooh.
hotel like convenience experience that you've had?
You mean of something like
Something
messing
like
up?
that.
I think it was actually recently.
Mixing. Oh, that would be, you know what?
Hey,
I would be totally down to do that. But that's the
that'd be cool.
we'll think about it because that's not what this show, me mixing is not what the show is about.
Yeah, it's still fun though. So it could be a side, show. Like it'd be
Figure something out.
an extra
Alan, I
YouTube,
can dig it.
a YouTube special or something like that, right?
Maybe. Then maybe. Okay.
yeah. No, what's crazy is that I feel like something recently just happened
Huh.
where it was like, wait, what? Oh, well, no, we just talked about that's what it was because we just talked about last week where we had Sam on and talk about his show.
Oh.
That's
with the
just still my
chicken.
mind.
What was it? Was it
It was like raw meat just in the
it was
closet.
just raw meat, like just ugh, like in a bag.
So that was bad. So we kind of talked about that
Too
last
nice. I
episode.
wouldn't.
That was 2 weeks ago. But yeah, the customer service thing. I mean, again, I've had where they've actually given someone a room. Actually, this happened in my tournament, like one of my last years, where they gave someone a key to a room and someone was already in it asleep, and it was already like 12:30, and it was bad. And the guy came out about ready to fight, and I had to stop it. And yeah, it was
Why'd
bad.
you have to stop it?
Just because I was right next to it, and the guy was in my tournament, and I was just happened to be there trying to fix all the situation. There was a lot of issues that year. Like we always had a restaurant in the hotel, and there's nothing really around that area, and so they closed the restaurant like a month before, but didn't tell me that. So I had
That
everyone
sucks.
thinking, there's just a lot of things like that happened.
I mean,
But-
what are the things? The number one thing that happens like often is the elevator.
Yeah.
Right. Is the
Yeah.
elevator. But then I think now that you mentioned it, yeah, being where you're at and being like, this is our only option for food or anything.
Right.
Right. It cannot close early.
No,
right?
no. And I've been at tournaments where Friday doesn't end until midnight or 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. And it's like, what do you do?
Only thing in town.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
please stay open.
Right.
That's why, you know what? I've mentioned this tournament a number of times. I just think it was at the time of year. It was great. And it literally was in the middle of nowhere. It was the New England Open for so many
Yeah.
years. And in Marlborough, Massachusetts, I would think at least that hotel that's been named a number of different things over the years,
Yeah.
right? At least they kept that thing open. They kept that thing
Yeah,
open
they did. I forgot about that.
really, really late. And I remember thinking, like, I'm so glad because there's like a 15-minute walk to a McDonald's, and then there's literally nothing else. Nothing.
Right.
You could drive for 40 minutes and not hit anything.
I tell you what I miss. I mean, I'm not a
Oh,
kid,
man.
but I know as a kid, we all needed the hotels that had the arcades and you know what I mean? Like as
Yes.
a young kid, like what
I
else is
agree.
there for us to do? Like the arcades, man, were awesome. And it's like it's a rarity now for a hotel to have that. And when they do, it's a huge thing because that was the thing that kept me going back to that hotel that was in my tournament because they had, like an arcade for the kids and stuff, right?
So I agree with that. So here's the thing. This is just everybody's got different things that they do for families. I will never allow any gaming system. There's no video games in this house ever. It will never
Right.
happen. Okay. No iPad. You're never gonna touch one. All right. And there's no phones. There's no games on them. So like I have to have an iPad for a couple of
Right.
things. There will
Right.
never be a phone on one or a game on one. Right. That's never gonna happen. However, if they go to this place
Right.
and you can play a game, like I'm okay with that idea.
Right.
I'm all right with that. You can go there and then experience this. Like that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're right. Remember we would just sit there for like 4.5 hours
At the US
Right.
Open. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like there was a couple other ones too.
Oh, there
trying to-
was. Well, even that one at Marlboro, I remember that one. They had a great video, the great one. And then
like from
Vegas for me, it was great because we weren't really allowed to walk
you can do
around
nothing in Vegas.
all the
So
stuff.
that's
So
one thing.
like,
Vegas does a pretty good job
sure.
of like the kids can't do nothing, so let's
Yeah.
give them something so that they don't get in trouble.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
why I think a lot of people back in the day wanted to go to the Excalibur because they had like games for the kids there, and a lot of the other ones didn't, So, all right, that was kind of a crazy sidetrack, but it was fun.
Hey, the food. I will say this: the food truck idea. That's a phenomenal one. That's a phenomenal idea.
Oh, it is. It
I'm
is.
throwing a party, Jeff. You got to come. All right, I'm throwing a party at the house in July.
Okay.
You probably have 4 tournaments that you're doing at the same day, but
I
anyway.
don't know, but we'll see.
And we don't throw small parties. Like we throw big
Of course
parties.
not.
It's gonna be between like 140 to 160 people ish.
Yeah,
right?
and you're gonna have six bowls of buffalo chicken dip.
No. I think I might get
Yes, the Hurstbourne had it. That's the one, Andrew, because they had the arcade and then they had the pools around the arcade too. This was at the old Bluegrass.
yeah. Well, no, I was thinking about I might get an ice cream truck
That's a good one.
because
Yeah,
I'm already catering it with something else. But I'm like, for dessert, like you get an ice cream truck. That'd be
Yeah.
pretty dope, right?
yeah.
It'd be pretty
Yeah.
cool to do. Yeah, that'd be cool.
All right, so let's get a little bit. Let's just talk about this upcoming weekend. We got WKC Nationals.
And the Great
Always
Lakes
a
Pro-Am the
great
next day.
event. Yes, and a Great Lakes Pro-Am. So a big 3-day weekend of martial arts, right? And I tell you, I like the way that it's set up for the form side because it's 2 rounds. You do 1 round Friday, you do 1 round Saturday. For the fighting on Saturday, everything's double elimination. So you really feel like you earned your spot. Like it wasn't just hey, did I get in the top 4 this one time? No, it's a process. And to me, I think it's one of the best that I've seen as far as like trying out for a tournament. I mean, for a team, right? I think it's pretty cool. And again, the Plowdens do a great job, but also the whole team that they have there, like David Prame and all those
Yeah,
guys.
good
that are
team of people around them.
The whole group out there. Duvers Taekwondo, their whole school works hard on it. Everybody involved in WKC.
That as well.
The Gorhams family. Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah. So, and then Avery and Morgan, really stepping up and being a huge part of this
The
tournament.
ambassadors of it too.
Yep. So it's a great event. And again, I think it's one of the more creative ways to create a team, so they do a great job.
I think
it's going to be a big year for WKC
I
USA.
think so as
Like,
well.
it being in Niagara Falls, so it's going to be big.
The other thing I think is happening is, and this is just the MSKC tour does do a very good job. By the way,
Yes.
Andrew, you're absolutely right. They're a
Yes.
very well run, very well organized.
And
circuit.
it's growing a lot too, man.
Yes, but along these lines, when you say it, you think it's going to be big. I think it is too. I think what's happening is there's a buzz the last couple of years is people are identifying like this, and that. Those are my tournaments of the year. And yes, there are some that are just like, we're just doing them all. Right. Yeah. But it costs so much more. Like if you're 19 and you work like a part-time job and you train straight up, you probably can't afford to go to a lot of tournaments, right? I worked a part-time job and I trained and pretty much everything I got, like I just went to like, what do you do when you're 18, 19? You go out with your friends,
right?
You pay for your couple of things that you have, all right? And you just go to karate tournaments. But you probably can't afford all that. You can't afford a karate tournament now, right? You just can't. So I think they're just identifying like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this and that, and that's just what I'm going to do. And so they have to look at it and go, all right, this is what I'm doing. And if you want to look at something at the end of the year, this weekend is extremely important. But you had to probably think about that back in February to qualify and figure out where you were qualifying, which is, I love the format. Now, I'm not a big fan of double elimination over 2 rounds.
Right.
However, for something like this, when you're making you're qualifying for a team for X amounts of spots, I actually think it fits better. Right?
Yeah, I agree.
So, but for form,
well, and there also isn't seeds and stuff too. Like it's a little bit different. You know what I mean?
For form, it's really fair, right?
Yeah.
Because if I'm the number 1 guy and I one bobble, I'm effed. It's over, right? That one bobble, one significant bobble, like you don't qualify anymore. Like not only did you not win, you're probably not qualifying because the competition's so deep and it's so razor tight, right? So that now, all right, maybe I didn't make that, but I get to do it again. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I actually think it's really fair for forms.
Yeah. No, I like it. I like it. So it's going to be exciting. Hope everyone has a great event and enjoys it. I just tell you, man, it's a cool concept. So, all right. So
men's team is going to be, it's always a good one.
Yeah. I believe this year is going to be pretty cool to see, who all is there in that. We got that coming up. We got Battle of Atlanta coming up, which this is just the most fun time of the year, man. And yes, I like how you changed the judges as well. That was huge. We have Battle, we have US Open, we have a lot of the nationals. We have the USA NKF nationals coming up in July. We have AAU nationals for Taekwondo and karate. We got lots going on. So going to be a busy June and July, full of just amazing, amazing competition, man. So, all right. So do we want to go with the top 5 or do we want to go with the topic where we're talking about creating a forms team?
Let's do our top 5s.
All right. I lost mine, so I'm going to have to
go for it. I'll go first.
All right, cool. What are we? You got some?
I got some honorable mentions.
All right, hold on. Let me
So
go back to my conversation.
the move that we're talking about is the top 5 bow, like baseball bat swings, like ball bat swings, right?
Yes.
And again, this is a move everybody has done, everybody
Yeah.
can do, but there's some that are significantly better. They have moments with theirs, or they just have like a what the heck? This person's so good at this, right? And it's hard to do a bad move of this. Like you can't really do one that's bad, but if you do one that people remember, like you must have been that dang good. And it's
Yes.
hard. It's really hard to look at this and go, is someone that much better? Ooh, so Andrew right away says you got to put Mike Bernardo as number 1.
Okay.
I might not have him number 1, Andrew.
Yeah,
So let's
I don't
go
know.
through. I've got some honorable mentions. Now, this one is a little different. So, because there's different styles. So I actually have my honorable mention. I have Ming Lu, which totally different style.
Completely different style, but
Completely different style. But honorable mention. All right. Not putting her number 1. Okay. But along that lines, these are ones that I just liked, right? Was Lee Pei-yun, right? Same thing, same style. I really liked those 2 the most, right? Of that style. Okay, moving on. This is still honorable mentions, but no more Chinese style weapons with this. I mentioned Jim in techniques in the past, recent past, but Jeff Ikejiri.
yeah.
Jeff Ikejiri's style, man, people go find you some videos of Jeff Ikejiri because this guy was just a clean martial artist, right? Very talented one. My last honorable mention is Joey Greenhaw. Joey Greenhaw, very, very good weapons competitor, very good bow competitor, solid martial artist. He wasn't just a fighter. He was a good weapons competitor. At number 5, that was where it's time to get serious. I have Rocky DeRico.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Number 5, Rocky DeRico. Rocky DeRico, not a really large guy. Pretty small in stature, right? So a guy like that, you're going to have a major impact. Like you got to really have a big presence when you're doing your performance, right? It's easier for a bigger guy. And maybe, okay, let's compare. Ross Levine, all right, would tower over Rocky DeRico.
Yeah.
And it's possible. Like the argument could be made. You'd be like, no, Ross Levine's is better. Maybe. But for Ross Levine, he already looks intimidating as a stature. Rocky doesn't, right? So if Rocky does something that really makes you go, whoa, for something like that, it has to be amazing. And maybe that's just like, all right, that's like maybe it's a like a handicap against someone like Ross.
Yeah.
Because he's already bigger. He's already has this like powerful stature. But that's why Rocky has to be so good. Okay.
Right.
Another one, similar lines of stature because of how old he was when he was competing, is Wayne Douglas. Wayne Douglas he's probably the fastest, right?
Okay.
Who's ever done this move, not just this move, but this weapon, right?
Yeah.
So
Yep.
Wayne was just so good. And was like, wouldn't it be cool to see what it would have been like if Wayne would have just done like 3-4 more years of competition?
Yeah.
That would have been cool.
Would have been cool.
That was number 4. Number 3, Mike Bernardo. So you go, man, you're putting Mike Bernardo, really the original for the creator. I already talked about him earlier for WMAC. All right. Turbo. All right. This is correlation there. Ross Turbo Levine, Turbo, right? Mike Bernardo. Really, everybody who went to be very, very good at bow, they've somehow come from a lineage of training from Mike Bernardo. Somehow, right? So at number 2, I have Casey Nash. Listen, if you crack somebody across the face in competition with
In
your
the head,
bow
yeah,
and
yeah.
break it, it's
Right.
kind of hard to not put you that
Exactly.
high, right?
Exactly.
So if
Yeah.
you're cracking someone across the face with a bow and you don't make number one, what in the heck could be number one? And Mike P hit it right on the head. It is Gary Waugh. Gary
Yes.
Waugh
Oh, it was
was
so
so amazing. Here's what Gary Waugh did. So what everybody typically does is you do
Crazy.
the ball bat saying, whoom, and it follows through, and then you go right into your next technique. Super
Yeah.
fast. Gary didn't do that. Gary was so impressive that he would swing it and then boom, point
boom,
it,
and stop.
stop. And then you
Crazy.
think like, oh, yeah, I could do that. But it
No,
would always
not like
you'd
that.
stop and then it'd shake or do one
Yep.
of these things, right?
Just wouldn't shake.
His wouldn't shake, all right?
No.
And he's that gripping that thing, right, as it comes.
Exactly.
His forearms were like my calves.
They're
Right?
crazy huge. It's nuts.
Yeah. So when he would do it, it didn't make sense. Like I remember I would be in the school because I think I had watched a black and blue video of him like teaching
it,
this.
right? Yes.
And I'm
it's,
like,
it's incredible. Yeah.
so I remember thinking at the time, like, oh, that's pretty cool. I could do that. No, you can't. That's
Yeah.
the thing about this move. Like, yes,
Right.
you can, because like that's what I love about martial arts.
Right.
We all have 2 arms and 2 legs, right?
Right.
For most of us, right? So I can physically do this move by doing these things. Yes, that seems impossible for you. I might have like maybe I do something that I have a slight little tweak or an advantage, but this is how I do this move. Now go do it. And you go, wow, well, you're stronger, so it's easier for you. Yes, but go do it.
Yeah.
And now you just got to train your ass off, and then you figure it the heck out. That's what makes this stuff so fun, right? So no, I never got it. I never got it to where I could make it stop. Did you ever get yours to like in a competition? Did you ever even try it? I wanted to do it.
Oh,
so
I
bad.
always did.
Never.
Yeah, baseball swing. I mean, I have to put that in most of my guys. I'm sorry, if you have a bow form, you need a baseball back swing. I don't care if it's traditional, open. It still needs to have it. Like if you don't know how to do that, like instruct, like to me, like that's what it should be, right? All right. Here's some of my honorable mentions. I'm going to have a lot of different names.
I had a good list though, didn't I? I had a good
Yeah,
list.
you did. No, that was great. A lot of names that maybe people don't know or haven't heard in a long time, right? Okay, so
Right.
one again is actually the guy that Trevor Nash got his black belt from, and that is Jeff Joslin. All right, so Jeff Joslin was go and watch. Just look that name up on YouTube and watch this form. And this is from like the 95, 96 Super Grands. And you're like, wait a minute. I didn't know people were doing neck rolls, body rolls, all these things that everyone thought people were doing in the
In, like,
2000s.
99?
He was doing them in 96. Okay. All right. So his baseball bat swing, awesome. His fast and the way that he was to the beat with the music made it even better. Right. So Jeff Joslin, he also is a UFC veteran as well. Like he's done it all. Right.
Wow. I gotta look this guy up.
Another one that always had a good way. He did it good in traditional, and he's probably the most recent one that I have on here. But he also had a really way of doing the swing here and then swinging it back and over his head was Vince Scarduzio, right? He had a lot of very creative ways to do that, right? All right, another one that honestly I was about to put him on there, but there was one that, and it's my instructor, Johnny Watkins. His baseball bat swing is one of the loudest ones I've ever heard.
Really?
And still to this day, he can crack that thing at 69 years old and boom. And he didn't do it like
you doing that.
and
Because
like
remember how I put for my top sidekick? I put my instructor, Scott Mashton.
right. So
It's
what I
hard
mean
for
is
anybody
like
who knows him to not have him on that list. But
so
go ahead.
like how a lot of people would do it and it would go straight around. That was the way a lot of us taught.
Yeah.
He does it a different way where it's like, no, I'm taking your whole body out. Like I'm taking your legs out and then it's going to go around here. So it'll be like, whoof, and it's crazy. And it makes a noise every single time. And so Johnny Watkins is one on that, right?
Do that.
All right, another one, and this goes another one from South Carolina who was a part of the original school that Gary was, Brian Winfrey. So Brian Winfrey won the overall grand championships at Super Grands, I think 92. His last year as a junior, and then almost won it I think he won it his first year as an adult too, which is crazy. There's only a few people that do that, right? And his bow was just so powerful, and his baseball bat swing was just sick, right? And like he used that song. Remember KLF? Remember that back in the day? And it was just so God, some of the songs back then were so cool. Another one that has the new version of like the baseball backswing, right? Because here's something now. You have you don't have the two-hand one that a lot of people do. You have the single one where it kind of strikes this way, right? Where it's like a swing, but they're swinging more like at a downward angle. That would be Mike Welch. Like he has, to me, the best one of that style of a baseball bat swing, right? Like the one arm one, right? Another one, I just can't not mention her, and that's Bernadette Ambrosia. Just the technique, the power, the way she would stick things. That's why it's honorable mention. These next three are three Canadian martial artists that I don't think get talked about enough, and that is Brandon Kersey, John Marshall, and Rich Fukumoto. So these three guys were amazing bow competitors, solid in NBL, NASCA, the PKL days. I mean, everywhere. I grew up watching videos of these guys competing in the 15-17 division with John Valera back in the day, and love it. And honestly, even John Valera had a really good baseball bat swing because he used to do both. People didn't really ever see that. So, yeah. All right, my top 5. First one is someone that we hear a lot of times when it comes to fighting, and that is Harry Carter. Harry Carter is a very underrated, kind of like what you're talking about with Jeff Gajiri. Harry Carter would do a baseball back swing into a 540. Then he would land the 540 and then finish the baseball back swing, right? So it would be 1 540, 2 land. And it was one of the and 2 years ago, he competed with me again, and I was like, "Are you going to do it?" He's like, "I'm going to try. I haven't done it in a long time." But at 47 years old, he did that same thing, and it was just as smooth and as solid as ever. So that's Harry Carter, one of my favorites. Number 4 is Nate Andrade. So Nate had a lot of really creative ones.
Yeah.
And they led to so many cool moves. So Nate is up there, and this dude is like 6'10", right? 6'9", I don't know.
7'12".
Right, like a tall guy using a bow, like it's like, wait a minute, this isn't even fair. Like he needs to like anyone else, you want them to move around. He don't need to move around. He needs to stay in the center and just stay there, or he's going to be hitting all the judges and everyone around. Right? But his power that he had was amazing with it, and the way that he used it for his creativity. My top 3 are very similar to yours. My number 3, Mike Bernardo. So I thought, the influence that he had, the speed he had, and back then his baseball backswing was his big trick, and everyone popped as people back then went as nuts for that as they do when Jackson does his quadruple spin, right? Yep. Yes, Brandon Kersey's bow form was insane. You're so right, Andrew. Yep. Yeah, and his first competition adult, he placed second right behind Bernardo. That is nuts, right? There's only a few people to do things like that. Like I mean, I remember how epic it was for John Valera in '95 to beat Mike Bernardo in at the Battle of Atlanta in weapons. It was just nuts. Right? It wasn't a thing that people did, right? All right. My number 2 was your number 1, Gary Waugh. Gary Waugh is, to me, one of the best ever at this. When I think of this move, I think of Gary Waugh. But for number 1, I have a tie. So you
have 2 people at number 1.
Yeah. So 1 is because you hit someone in the head like this. I mean, and again, without that,
she's still going to be
one of the best baseball best swings there was, right? And that's Casey Marks. But to me, you had her as honorable mention. I have her as number one, Ming Lu. Like, I'm sorry, that baseball bat swing she did is in freaking sane. Okay, how fast it was, how she could do it.
See, I thought you were scoffing at me that I even had her in there, but you
No, I
scoffed
was
at me that I had her in honorable mention.
Yes, yes. So Ming Lu to me and Casey, I mean,
So I'm not
honestly,
crazy. Okay.
honestly, to me, like those two women, like I hold them as possibly the two greatest female forms competitors of all time.
Yeah.
You know, like catch me on which day. You know, I'm if you're like 1A,
Yeah.
1B. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. Yes, that's one I definitely think needs to be talked about as well. Caesar Bukowski, a great instructor. Really the leader of that generation, and those guys with the bow in Canada. I mean, you watch, even to this day, you watch like Mike Polides bow form, and you see the influence of Caesar. So, all right.
But let's,
Yeah.
as I'm thinking about this, and I'm like, man, I didn't even put Terry Kramer as an honorable mention. And it probably should have.
There's a lot of people. I mean, honestly, there's some good
So
people right now
many.
that have really good baseball bat swings in their traditional weapons forms.
Well,
are.
and that's the other thing.
Yeah.
If you listen to this show enough times,
We're going old
I
school.
love Jackson Rudolph. I love Jackson Rudolph's weapon.
Sure.
I think he's the best ever. Right. I intentionally tried to like block that. Right. Tried to put the blinders eye when doing this, because otherwise I would just put the guy number one. Right.
Yeah.
Because that's where I look at him in this type. Because number one, I think he's that good, and I'm a fan. I didn't want to fanboy over this thing so much
Right.
that I'm like, I'm just gonna put him there, which he probably deserves to. He does deserve to at least be an honorable mention. I'm sorry.
Right.
So
Right.
if you're hearing this, Jackson, if you're seeing this, my bad, homie. But at least I'm mentioning you now.
Well, I mean, I think
Fun.
there's a lot of guys that had really, especially like in this era of when we're talking about traditional bow, right? I mean, I think all those guys had great ones, like Jake, Reed, all those guys, So
Yes.
there's a lot of solid ones, on that.
Oh man, I'm blanking it right now. Oh, who was the kid? AKA. Oh gosh, probably like 10 years ago.
Oh, dang.
Come on.
10 years ago. Dang. Oh, you're talking about like Micah, or are we talking about
Micah
someone-
Carnes.
Yeah.
Micah Carnes.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of good
Not
ones.
bad. What I liked about Micah Carnes is he's so athletic.
Yeah.
And typically martial artists who are that athletic don't choose that weapon.
Right.
Right?
True.
Like
True.
really, probably the most athletic person who chooses that weapon is probably Mike Welch, right?
Oh, you mean before that?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
But
I
then,
mean, it's like Esteban right now, like doing a bow. You're like, whoa, dude, this dude's too athletic to do a bow. Right?
100%. Right.
Yeah.
And so that was just kind of the culture. If you think about it, like Jeff, when we would compete a lot, like we would see, like the culture would be
The trickers did commas.
just get your commas, man.
Yeah.
Or maybe if you were really different, you did chucks. Right. But like if you were that athletic, you didn't constrict yourself with two hands to one bow, because there wasn't the creativity yet in all of the forms. I mean, Mike really started to change it with some of his stuff, right?
Yeah.
But there wasn't really the creativity to add other bows or to really start doing other things, right? Like the way Reed did it, when Reed would do it with two bows and would trick, it was like, well, you're just a freaking magician. This is not real life, right?
Yep.
And then, like you said, now it's just the level up. Now it's just insane, and I love the creativity. So,
I still have my Mike Bernardo signature bow, Andrew.
You still have it?
Yeah. It's got a little crack, but still
have it.
Yeah, it's good. All right. So our last topic, and this could go on really long, but I don't want it to be.
I don't want it to either.
But so we're going to just talk about creating a solid forms team. Like, what does it take? And then we're going to have fun. We're just going to create our five people from all over of time. We can mix. I mean, if you want to, like, I do think you need to have one person from now, just to say, and then we can kind of mix it up some. And then the idea would be, okay, we want to put these guys here, but what's the idea for team forms, for maybe demo,
what
for
I'm
things
thinking.
like that, right? So, and honestly, like this could go any which way, and I didn't make a real list, but I'm gonna go in a lot of different ways with this. Okay, so, all right, you want to go first? I'll go first since you didn't go last. Yeah. So,
ahead.
and honestly, this is kind of off the top of my head. So, I won't put myself in there because I would love to be on a team with a lot of these guys, but I'm gonna do this. So I just mentioned I'm not gonna have a team without Casey Marks, so I'm having her in there, right? Then I'm gonna have a team with Ming Lu, all right, and then I'm going to have
Who you
so
gonna put
who
these
would be
people?
a counterpart to her, right? Well, let's go the crazy guy. Let's go Singal. I don't know how it's going to work, but imagine those two doing something together. All right. So I got that. All right. We're going to go with the other side of that. And I'm going to put Ben Jones in there. And then I don't have any traditional in there yet. Well, that's not true. I have Casey in there. So I'm going to go. This is
Who
going
are
to be
you putting
wild.
these people?
I don't even know where I'm going, but I like literally this is off the top of my head because there's people that I'm forgetting. Oh, I could tell you a whole nother list, right, of people that I want because there's other people I'm missing that are also my style, but I'm gonna go with a traditional person. I really want to go with Keith Weston, but I'm gonna do I'm gonna go Ariel Torres.
Those
So-
two together
Who? Ariel and who?
and Keith Weston.
That would be 6 people if I did that. So I need five people, right? Did we say 5? All right, I'll go 6. Let's just do 6.
Maybe
So
we-
Keith Weston, Ariel Torres, Casey, Ming, Ben Jones, and Singal.
All right. Listen, this is the amazingness of misinterpreting text.
Okay.
What I interpreted when we were
Yeah.
having this conversation is you two are a team, make a form.
Hmm.
You two are a team, make a form.
Yes. Yeah. We already did that before with people from the past and that. So remember what I said? It's like, no, make a forms, like a team for forms. And then from there, you can say, all right, these are the pieces I'm going to put for this. Because guess what? Now there's 4 different team forms divisions. Okay. So I got my
okay.
creative weapons division, right? Guess what? I can go Casey and Ben, or actually, you know what? Maybe I won't put them in creative. I'll put them in traditional weapons. Imagine that. That's traditional weapons. My creative weapons is going to be Singal and Ming Lu. Imagine that, right? Okay. My traditional forms is going to be Ariel and Keith Weston. Or if I wasn't going to put Ariel, I could go Ariel and Casey together, right? All right. My creative forms, maybe I don't necessarily have another. I could put Ben in there. He knows how to do kind of anything. He's already great at that, right? He could probably do something really cool with Casey, with the form if they want to, or he could do something with the soft style guys. Imagine Singal and Ben Jones come up with something. I think it could work. All right. I'm just telling you, dude,
Hey.
like there's a lot of crazy options with this, right? I mean, Ming and Singal could do forms and the weapons division. So, and then imagine the team demo that would be.
All right.
know.
Well,
No.
this is cool. I've got some cool ones. So if I had to go off of the way you did it,
Yeah.
and I gotta pick like,
And I want to do just 5, but 6 makes sense. Let's go with 6.
all right. So if I gotta pick someone to start, like, all right, I gotta have a forms team. I don't know who else I'm gonna get. I'm gonna start with Mike Welch.
Okay.
You get Mike Welch, you got a team. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get Mike Welch and then figure out the rest. All right. Then I get to play Dream Team if I want to. Then it's like I want Steve Terada on the team. 100%.
Right.
That's what I want. I want David Douglas on the team.
Okay.
I want Shaquan Parsons on the team. This is already getting interesting, right?
Is that 4? Yeah. Yeah.
How many? I can only have how many?
6. And I gave you
You
an
only
extra.
got 2 other spots.
Yeah, that's all you got. Is 2 other spots, bro.
Who do I have so far? Okay. I want more spots.
Yeah, I know that would be a good one. Just put that in the list and on the chat
right.
there, Leandro. Jeez, called you out.
Who called me out?
No, nothing. Someone was texting me a name. Put it in the comments.
Yeah, put it in the comment.
Create your teams, guys. Who's of all time? Oh, all right. A team form. Yeah, Andrew, Gabe, and Kevin as a 3. That would be sick.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
But if you were going to do that, no, I think if you did it with.
So here would be my 3. With that, I would have Gabe, Butch, and Andrew. Imagine that group because all of them did similar.
That would
forms,
look cooler.
right?
That would look cooler.
Yeah.
Right.
It
Because I
really
was going to say, like, if you're going to do that, the way that we're doing it the 3 kata way, like the 3
Right.
guys with the kata doing it like that. Yeah, then they would make that look cooler because you can't have Gabe. There's no other Gabe.
Right.
Nobody else does it like Gabe. Right.
Right.
So if you put Gabe with somebody else like that, he now can't be Gabe. Right. I think I'd have to do like Ariel and Mason.
Yeah,
Right?
that would be fun.
That
Yeah,
would be-
that's a good one. Yeah. I mean, for me, yeah. I mean, again, like, who did I say? So I have like Ariel and Weston together, but I also could do Ariel, Casey, and Weston together, right? Could even have Casey and Ben doing a Korean team form together. There's a lot of things to do. Okay.
All right. Well, I gotta have Haley Glass.
Well, you have 7 people, man. You can't.
No, I don't.
Yes, you
Do
do.
I?
That was your 7. Yeah.
I was just commenting.
Yeah, Ariel Mason
Let
would
me
be
go back.
fun.
Let me redo mine. I can only have 6. All right. I need to have Steve Terada. He's got to be on.
The original plan was 5, but you know.
All right. Gotta have
Yeah.
Steve. And if I'm gonna have Steve, I want Salif.
So all right. So who you getting rid of?
Starting over. I got Steve and Salif.
The worst of this.
I am very bad at this right now.
And then you said Mike Welch. So you're going to get rid of Mike Welch or are you getting rid of David Douglas? See, look what you did.
I'm gonna. So I got Steve. I got Salif. I want Marcel Jones.
Okay.
Okay. And I want Matt Emig, Haley Glass.
This dude already ruined his team.
Oh, what do you mean I've ruined my team?
Let's go. I mean, you got a great team. I'm just saying, like,
Oh.
you
And-
got one style, so they're not all gonna, you know.
They're not all going to do it. No.
Yeah.
And then Jackson Rudolph.
All right. So who's Jackson doing a team form with? There's no other bows. See, you're not good at this. It's okay.
Hey, listen, can I tell you what I thought I was going to do? And we'll just
No, let's
see,
do that too, because that's fun too.
because that one actually is way cooler. All right.
All right, go.
So I was thinking about Dream Team, someone from a recentish era and someone not from this era. Okay.
Yes.
And I thought about Salif and Steve Terada, and I thought that would just be the freaking coolest. Right.
Yes.
All right. I thought about Daniel Sterling and David Douglas.
Yes.
Cool, right?
Right.
I think Alan Davies and Marcel Jones,
Would be sick. Yep.
really sick. And you know who'd be really cool to pair with Shaquan? Anthony Atkins.
Oh yeah.
Ah.
Definitely.
Your
Yeah.
eyes won't even know where to go. You just be
No,
like, this
no,
the whole
it's
time.
crazy. Correct. Correct.
And then if I could, I think Justin Chang and Micah Carnes would be cool. I know I mentioned Micah earlier in the show.
Didn't they do that before?
I don't
feel
think
like-
they did. Did they?
Maybe not.
Oh, maybe I'm here. So
I know actually Jacob. I think it was Pinto and him did one. Pinto
Yeah.
and Justin did
Jacob
one. Yeah,
Pinto.
that was good. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So that's wild. I want to go a different way with that of the ones I'm thinking. So I'll do some. I'll add some traditional ones in there. I think.
some people are just hard to pair with. Like you said,
Oh, I know.
you didn't put yourself in there. Who the heck are you going to be able to pair with that kicks like you?
You
I'm
mean
not trying to say that, like, listen,
in
you kick that much
traditional?
better, but you kick a certain way.
right?
I
right.
don't know anybody else who has, because, like, if let's say you picked Kingston Inc. Okay, it's not going to look the same now.
No, it's
This
different.
Kingston Inc.'s so much taller.
Yeah, but it still could. It still could work. But yeah, I know what you mean.
100%
You're
it
right.
could
You're
work,
right.
but
You're
like,
right. You're right.
that doesn't look the same. It's hard.
I
to
think
find
Steve.
someone
I think Steve and I doing a form together would have been really cool. Steve's. I mean Steve. He's. How did I just forget? Where am I with this?
Oh,
My God, Horse. There we go. Jeez, Stephen Horse. Right.
that's
Okay.
a great point.
Right. Like
That is a
us
great
together, especially at that time. I think we would have been great. We were just on opposite teams. I think Stephanie and I would have been fun together.
Now that is an excellent.
And that could have
Correlation.
happened. I don't know why it didn't happen, but
Yeah,
that would have been good. Stephanie Flowers.
I've mentioned this
Me-
before. I think
Me and Caitlin, I don't know. I think it could happen. I think Lily and I would work as well. But yes, Jeff and I would have been sick.
you know who would have been dope. Just missed each other. Like a few years, like maybe like 10 years was. I mention this every now and then. Mike Chat and Anthony Murata.
Yeah, that would have been
They're
great.
like basically the same person.
Yeah, that would have been great. That would have been great. I think for me, I would like to see. I always wanted to see. I don't know. I think Gary Waugh and Bernardo together would have been really cool, right?
Jeez. Think the electricity would go out.
Exactly. Daryl Lewis and David Douglas together.
I was just thinking.
That would be, that would be the one for me as well.
But then they're just that's just the coolness is just there's just
So much cool.
oozing out.
Right.
Be like if Lenny Kravitz just went in there and decided I'm going to do karate,
Right.
or Prince.
Yeah. Who would I like watching Haley and Alex do their team form together. I think it's really cool. Who would in the past, who would she pair with? Because she's an incredible athlete. You know what I mean? Like it's
Like I say, female.
yeah, or it doesn't have to be another female. Like I think her and a guy from
Matt Epic.
Yes, Matt's
she
style's
does-
a little different.
Yeah,
His
because Matt
style's a
does.
little
Because
different.
Matt does. Oh,
Yeah, that was
Andrew's got a great point. David Douglas and Daniel Graham.
yeah,
I
that
like
was a good,
that. I like that.
that would be a good one.
Yeah, Matt wouldn't work because Matt does chucks. So
Yeah, but they can do forms. Has nothing to do with that.
well, if
They
they
can do
did
forms.
Indian. I think that would. I think they would work. You don't think they would work?
No, I do. I feel like there's someone else I'm missing. I feel like maybe Mike Seafree and her. That would be cool. That would have been a cool one. Yeah.
That.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
When was the last time you thought or heard of that name?
Yeah. So
Huh,
yeah, I think that would be,
2003. My
Yeah.
goodness, good one, good
Yeah.
one, Jeff.
so I think that would have been a cool one. But yeah, I mean it's I mean, there's so many cool things. Like even right now, there's some people that I feel like could have some real cool team forms, right? I think there's still some that could happen, you know. I would like to do a couple. I know I've told you so many times I hate doing team forms, but I tell you what, I'm doing this demo team thing now. I enjoyed it, you know, aka I did that. We're gonna be doing team demo at Atlanta and US Open. I never thought I would ever say that I enjoy doing team demo. So maybe I'll do a team form before I, you know, retire from this thing, you know. Who knows?
Listen, we've spoken crazier things into existence before.
It's true.
We've spoken set matches into existence. We've spoken T-shirts to have been made. So
True.
we could come up with some stuff.
I forgot about this. This is crazy. Butch Tokusala and David Douglas doing a team form together. Yeah. He
I
said
did
it
not know that this happened. Oh, wait, I
Yes.
think I did hear about this. I didn't
Yes.
see this, though.
The one that was rare that people never didn't see to me, which just in my
What?
time, they were the best two juniors. It was Carmichael and Jimmy Pham. Like that was just sick. And they only did it as like a demo one time at the Diamonds. And they were the only ones in the or the way they did it was team forms as juniors and team forms as adults. And so you had 93.
Yeah.
They did it, and then the adults was Mike and John as their
Yeah.
first time ever doing it. So imagine those two. It's like the two dream teams, right?
Right.
It's just nuts.
You know, when Lauren Carney and Casey at the time Marks, when they did their team form,
Yeah.
I loved the creativity of that so much. I mean, they were some of the best
That's a good one.
bow competitors in the world at that time, but they also were just extremely creative to do two people, one bow, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And now
I don't even know if that would be allowed.
because there wasn't a weapons
Yeah.
team and an empty hand team.
Yeah, it was just team.
Man. See, that's where I think like
I
all
know.
the extra divisions, it
Yeah.
actually takes away creativity.
Yeah. No, I
It's like,
agree.
look
I agree.
at that. Like that's
Yeah.
something that we would have never seen. And
Well, yeah,
now
I mean,
people would
one of
never
the only
think to do it
times-
because you can't.
correct. And one of the only times that I really enjoyed doing a team form was with my student Aaron, and we started the form and we did OG together until the middle, and then all of a sudden someone pushed a button and music came on and we did creative.
You couldn't do that now either.
You can do that in NASCA, you know? So that
See,
was
the extra divisions, all the extra rules. It's
Right.
just ruining creativity.
right. So
The biggest thing is the creative division. That division needs to go. It needs to be burned to the ground and never thought of
American.
again.
Call it American. I loved American back in the day. The American division. Yeah.
Just call it open.
Hell
Just
yeah.
be-
We need something.
I
USA.
don't care if you call it American. I don't care what you call it, but just get
Or
rid of the
North American. That way
just
the Canadians
burn down
feel
the creative division. I like that idea. Aiden Kennedy and Haley Glass. That
Yeah.
would be cool.
Good one. All right, so we got a big week. Everyone, enjoy your week with WKC Nationals. Again, I got black belt training, black belt testing this weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'll have some. Again, guys, this is your last week. Get booked this week for private lessons for Battle of Atlanta. Also, go to MadAction.com, Grand Slam Experience to get registered for my tournament. Man, every weekend something. So I'm excited. I'm going to battle. The next week I'll have a tournament. I'm
Nice.
nuts. But yeah, so gonna be a lot of fun. And yeah, man, this is that time of the year. This is like one of the most exciting times of the year. Battle, US Open, WKC Nationals, all that good stuff. So
It's the summer. Summer, doing martial arts tournaments, do it as much as you can. But that's
Yes.
the thing, is it's like we mentioned it earlier in the show. Like people are identifying like
Yeah.
which one am I gonna go to, you know? Whereas
Yeah.
it was I wish there was a way where we could incentivize more competition. Like we've talked about, like
Mhm.
if you win the US Open this year, just whoever that division winner is, just comp that person.
Yep. Yep.
Just comp that
Exactly.
one. That doesn't mean all the registration. I would never do that.
No.
That's
No.
ridiculous. Never do
Yeah.
that. That division. And if that
Well-
one person wins 5 divisions, well, you just comp that person. And then you go.
Right.
Then you're good. That
Yeah.
actually ends up to be more cost effective
Yeah.
for the promoter, because now you get a better rate for all those divisions anyway. Then you're fine.
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, and then you also, yeah, there's so many things, and this is what was really cool about with the NBL and the way we had conferences, right? And we could do that to kind of get everyone to follow our conference. So what we did was all the grand champion winners at the first tournament of the year, let's say, I think it was mine, all my grand champion winners, they got their first division free at the Infinity Nationals. And then all the winners of the Infinity Nationals got their first division free at the Slugfest. Okay, or whatever division they won. So say they won all 3 grands, well, they got at least 3 divisions taken care of. All right. At the Slugfest. And then all the winners of Slugfest got mine comped the next year. So we just kept going that whole way. And then I believe we did the same thing with the Pacific Jewel one year, because we were the 2 big tournaments, and
That's
we
cool.
wanted to get, some West Coast and East Coast against each other, and whoever won the grands got each one kind of taken care of. And then we even did, as well as whoever won who won at all of them got super grands paid for. So there's a lot of cool things that way.
When was the last Super Grands again? I'm trying to remember.
2019.
So it
I
wasn't
even
like
there. Yeah.
it wasn't like it was 20 years ago, right?
No.
So many things that now
Yeah.
that it's gone, we just want to do just like that. Weird.
Yes. And I tell you what, I'm getting that bug again, and I'm excited. There's a lot of things that are happening in the works, and I'm excited to get back to the promoting thing. So, all right.
This has been another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I am Alex Dingman.
I am Jeff Doss. See you guys next week.